Hello, welcome to the Starters Orders 6 Online League review show for the flat week number 12, the penultimate week of the season, of course. We've got to look back at the Breeders' Cup and all the other races that happened on week 12, and we'll start off with a chat with Doug in the land of the rising sun. Right, I've got Doug on the phone now, live from the Orient. He's got a plate of noodles and a glass of sake and all sorts of stuff, and I think he's got a couple of Susie Wongs or whatever he's got with him, so he's having a good time. He's got to get back for some more mundane racing later, but how are you getting on in the land of the rising sun then, Doug?
Oh, the sake's good, and I've been knocking that back. And so is that beer, having some Sapporo, and it's very nice beer, Sapporo.
That's good. It's good, all these fancy foreign assignments you get. Poor old Tim got sent to Pontefract. I've been delighted about that.
Not much happens at Pontefract.
It's an interesting place. It's in Yorkshire. I thought it was in Wales because it sounds like it ought to be in Wales, but it's not. It's in Yorkshire. But anyway, let's get back to the more important things. Group 3
Sure.
Nikkei Nisai Stakes at Hanshin. How did you see that one?
It was a small field, wasn't it? Just 5 horses. And really, Trillium's got a miracle rails running. I think it was near the furlong or just inside the furlong, and that gave Thunderspark an easy win. Access Denied second, and Flavouring third ran well, and Mary Venture maybe was a little disappointing.
Yeah, he's tricky, those small field races. They get tactical, and sometimes the form don't count so much. But if you're going to win by nearly 5 lengths, you've got to be pretty good. So
yeah, well, I would say, I'd go as far as saying that the race was rigged. The rails run Trillium, Scott, was just someone had to be in on it.
Well, you got to be careful saying things like that where you are. You'll end up with a goodness knows what. You're in triads and then you'll be at it. I might have to edit that bit out.
Trillions isn't a triad horse.
No, it was a trial though, was it?
Yeah.
But, so that was that one then. So what was your next one? The race number...
Into race 10?
Yeah, that was the Kessie High Autumn Handicap at Nakayama. So that was a quick scoot across to Nakayama. And how was that?
As it is, I've actually been to Nakayama, on Nakayama racetrack.
All right.
And I was 25, so 23 years ago. It was 24 years ago? God, yeah, man, it would be 24 years ago, almost to the date.
It's worrying when you sort of think about those things, isn't it? It's sort of forget what the date is sometimes, and I think, that was only 10 years ago, and it turns out it was 20 years ago, and it don't bear thinking about, really.
No, it was a great lark, because I'd never been overseas before, and been knocking around with a Sheila at home, and she was this mad Aussie with German descent, which probably explains it all. And she was over in Japan on a scholarship, so I followed her over for a few weeks, about 4 all up. And if I'm going overseas, I've got to check out a racetrack, even at a young age like that. And it was amazing atmosphere, because I remember walking through the front gates of the racetrack of Nakayama racetrack, and there was heaps of people, lots of people, but it was just really quiet. Not like an English crowd or an Aussie crowd where you got that many. I don't know how many people there, but there was lots of people, and it'd be rowdy as, and I remember walking in and I just seen all these blokes, mainly blokes, some women, just all squatting or standing around reading race guides, and there was no real noise. And then we went into the grandstand. It was like this huge multi-story shopping centre, and I was just blown away. And it was a beautiful racetrack, really quite a long straight, and grandstand just felt like it went the length of the straight. It was excellent. It's where they hold the Japan Cup, I think. And it was a really good experience. So that's my Nakayama story. And
yeah, certainly sounds good.
Yeah, I don't think I backed a winner.
You probably didn't back a winner in this race here either, did you? Because looking at the prices of them, 25 to 1 winner, 20 to 1 second, 18 to 1 third, and 18 to 1 fourth.
I got fourth.
Yeah, pretty good. That was.
And so I'm claiming that as a win.
Well, a bit fourth in a race in Japan gets a few bobs on it. That's got a bit of prize money, I think, for that. That's probably boosted your takings for the season. You have to get a bigger wallet.
Oh, that's right. Well, as I said in the forums, this is the closest I've ever gotten a group race.
Is it?
And I was, Yeah, I wasn't very far away, but I had a good advantage with the weight, so I don't think I could have got much lighter. But it was good. But we should have a chat about the winners.
We should do, really.
Yep. And it was a real grinding win by Demanding Thriller for Alan McDonald, and that was great to see him pick up a Group 3. I heard Ireland was unlucky to lose after leading most of the way, and Pyrenean Beauty was less than a neck away in third. I thought if you watched the finish of that race, and no doubt Paul Rhodes has, Entrance to Heaven was motoring home to finish fifth, and probably needs another furlong and a bit more luck, because the last probably 2 furlongs, maybe even a bit longer, 2.5. It didn't get ridden very well by the jockey. And, it was just a poor ride, and maybe if it got ridden more normally, it could have got there. So that Entrance to Heaven's the horse to follow out of the race.
You've got to be a bit careful about what you say about Paul Rhodes' jockeys. You probably just sign that bloke's death warrant. I mean, B. McHugh, he'll be hunting him down there. I mean, I'll try and save him. He got a lot of weight, 10 stone. So, and
and he may have been the top weight for the race. He
would have been with that 10 stone. You can't get more than 10 stone on a flat. So yeah, it was top weight. So maybe it weren't all the jockey's fault. Perhaps just one leg broken. We'll be fit for next season.
Bit of a slapping. He should be right there.
Yeah, because he had a good day at the Breeders' Cup. Paul Rhodes had a good day at the Breeders' Cup yesterday, so he should be in a reasonably good mood today. So he might get away with just sort of tie into a wheel on a cart and being dragged around for a couple of hours. I'll probably do it.
Do a few somersaults from the wheel, eh?
So that was it for you on the flat then for big races on Monday. So we'll speak to you again next week then, Doug.
No worries, mate.
All right, see you later.
Okay, and welcome to my roundup of the first day of the second last week of the league for week 12. And we'll just jump straight into it. And race 1 was the Betfred.com Nursery. It was at Doncaster and it was a 0 to 90. And our winner was Sharon Kovo for Marty Cairns. 11-1, won by 3/4 of a length to Acapulco Queen, trained by Peter Cale, and another quarter away in third spot was Pringle from the James Shea stable, and Need for Speed and Gen 2 ran 4th and 5th. Race 2 was the Betfred Handicap at Doncaster. It was a 0 to 85, and Owen Stockwell, Vinnie Gerard took the money. That was a 3-1 favourite. He won by 3/4 of a length from Trenta E. Trez, Darren Thompson. And then a half away in third was Ad Fortin for James Follis. And fourth was Novair Coup, and fifth was Baba Hurry. Race 3 was the Betfred November Handicap at Doncaster. It was a 0 to 110. So he stepped up a bit in the ratings, and Purple Duck finally got up and broke the duck. And it won at 66 to 1. That won easy in the end, really. 2 3/4 lengths from Persephone. Leon Van Rensburg and Highland Croft. Jim Murray was third. Fourth we had Volunteer, and fifth was Sans Monduit. Race 4 was a Doncaster Shield. That was a 0 to 90 race. And Golden Shot for Kevin Menahan got up. It was 5 to 1. That won by half a length to Cranworth Boris, Colin Clark. And Cranworth Boris been quite consistent of late. Third was Best of the Best, Darren Howes, and that was 2 1/4 length away. Fourth was Biotech Tarantula, and fifth was Attic Island. Race 5 was the Fun and Friendly Nursery at Doncaster. It was a 0 to 85. We had Creedon Hill for James Follis was a winner at 40 to 1. It just got there by short head over Synchronised something. I can't remember off the top of my head. It doesn't show up here, the full name in the results. And then a half away in third was on Jammable Charlie. It was good to see Charlie back in the league, entering some horses. Fourth was Down Japan, and fifth was Frankel Commander. Race 6 was the split-second sprint at Doncaster. That was a 0 to 100, and Leon Van Rensburg got up with Stand and Deliver, and it won by 3/4 of a length. Sawyer McDougall, Sirius Chul, and then a quarter away in third was Mishnah for Rod McClure. Fourth was High Tide, and fifth was Bell Belied. Race 7 was the Autumn Handicap at Doncaster. It was a 0 to 85. And Rod McClure saluted the judge again with Crown Him. And congratulations, Rod. And that won by a length to River Rock, Alan McDonald. And then third, a short head away, was Fistral March and Colin Clark. Fourth was Fine Puzzle, and fifth was Bussa Fatachi. And race 8 was the last race of the handicap races on day one, and that was the Betfred Yankee Handicap at Doncaster. Another lower fare, 0 to 85, and Mutanica Best got up for Darren Howes. And well done, Darren. That was 28 to 1, and it only got there. It was a very, very close finish, and it won by a short head to St. Ransom for Charlie. Then a short head away in third was Curtin's Tilly for Terence DeBarle. Then a short head in fourth was Super Who. Short head in fifth was Huge Engine, and then a short head in sixth was Mr. Smoothface. And that's my roundup for the first day of week 12, and good luck to all the trainers next week for the final week of this league season.
So the second 2 days of the flat race in week 12 were largely taken up with the Breeders' Cup at Arcadia. Let's take a look at the races there. Quick recap on what happened. The first race, race 11, was the Breeders' Cup Marathon, which is the long distance race, of course, and that was won by John Morgan's Snurge, just getting up to win by a head from Chipmunk for Stephen Rand. Chipmunk, who was a returning horse on a previous season and had been running well right from the beginning of the year, was the favourite but didn't quite hang on, but ran bravely enough anyway. Santa Andrew was third for Darren Thompson, and Sometime Never for Leon van Rensburg was fourth. The second Breeders' Cup race was the Juvenile Turf. That was a win for Stella Artois for Paul Rhodes, back to form again for Stella Artois, and that one won by a length and a quarter from Ganges for James Shea, and Fan through for Alan MacDonald back in third. One of a Kind was fourth for Leon van Rensburg, and the favourite Morning Star for Thunderspark could manage only fifth. Race 13 was the Dirt Mile, and this was a win for Thunderspark this time with Rivermore. Rivermore, that had been running right back in the classic races earlier in the season, has run into form at the back end of the season, and has just won there nicely at 8 to 1 from In La La Land from Paul Rhodes second. He went off with the 6 to 4 favourite, and Iron Bothwell for Vinnie Gerard was third. Ochimera de la Costa ran its usual good race in fourth, and Persian Heights was back in fifth. Race 14 was the Breeders' Cup Distaff. This was a win for Yellow Sub for Stephen Rann. Ended up to win nicely by a length and 3/4, driven out, made most of the running, to be honest. Gift Set was second for James Shea, with Sant for Martin Cairns back in third, and Venus de Milo was fourth for Paul Rhodes. Race 15 was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Sprint, and that was a win for Shinko Dancer, right back to form for Shinko Dancer after it was surprisingly beaten the other week by Claire Grogan. It turned the tables today with a comfortable win, and Quakewood for Thunderspark was back in second. Too Hot to Handle for Paul Rhodes was third, and Craig Rogan, that had beaten Shinko Dancer previously, was back in fourth. Good runners, all four of them, and hopefully some of them at least will be back next season to race as 3-year-olds. The Juvenile Fillies race was next, and with the two best fillies, Shinko Dancer and Claire Grogan, having run in the previous race, this one was left wide open for Mylena, the 11 to 8 favourite from Thunderspark, to take a cosy victory and win by 3 lengths, which is a pretty good distance to be winning a Group 1 race by. Hollywood for David Robertson was second, and Naked Truth for Paul Roach was third. Serious Chill was pretty pleased with his 4th placed horse, In Stitches. After that we have the fillies again. This time it was the Breeders' Cup Fillies and Mares, and this was a win for Thunderspark again, with River June 13 to 2 winner. Just got up on the line, win by a head from Mismanaged from Stephen Rand second. The Gift of Love for Serious Chill was third, so what a good day for him too. 2 in the top 4 of Group 1 races. That must be one of his better days. And Parish Sister was 4th for Paul Rhodes. Breeders' Cup Day 2 then started with the Fillies and Mares Sprint. There seem to be quite a few of these fillies only races, and Galadriel Kingscote was the winner of that one for David Robertson. Had made all from start to finish, never looked like being beaten, won comfortably by a length and 3/4. Melina was the nearest one to get to it, in second place for Stephen Rand, with Kushat for Martin Cairns back in third, and Vine Whip for Darren Thompson in 4th. Galadriel Kingscote virtually turned that race into a procession. The next one, race 22, was the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. That was a win for Kentucky Lightning and Paul Rhodes, the first one of Paul Rhodes' big day. The Group 1 win there, a 6 to 1 shot. It was driven out, took the lead up halfway, and it was a fairly comfortable winner early from Keen Hunter in second for John Morgan's. Hysteria was third for Thunderspark, and XL Rave was 4th for Stephen Rand. So the big name trainers up there in the places. Race number 23 was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Dirt, and this time it was Noble Endeavour that made it for Paul Rhodes and won comfortably, the even money favourite by a length and a quarter, beating Man Alive from David Robertson's yard, and Fury and Disavow for Terence DeBarle. I think it's probably the best group result for Terence DeBar with a third place in a Group 1. He'll be pleased with that. And Serious Chill was up there in the money again with It coming 4th. Next up, race 24 was the Breeders' Cup Turf. This time it was second place for Paul Rhodes as he was pipped by David Robertson's Elkie Warthog. Made all and just held on from the fast finishing briefcase full of dollars. Paul Rhodes in second. Lopez Arms was third for Graham Clutterbuck, and Glacial Storm for John Morgan was back in 4th. Race 25 was the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and that was Paul Rhodes again this time, and it was Take Charge Brandy, that good sprinter that's been running well all season, wins it quite nicely from Donna Rosanna for John Morgan in second, and Pirate Lord for Thunderspark in third. Leon van Rensburg had his overnight success in 4th. Astelina, who was probably one of the fancied runners, was back in 5th. Race number 26 was the Breeders' Cup Mile, and this was again another one for Paul Rhodes, De Bulldozer, who's been running right since the start of the season again. He got up to beat the 1,000 guineas winner Lemon Ice in second for Stephen Rann, and Victor Wedded for David Robertson was back in third. King Bollin for Darren Howells was 4th, and Selena for Thunderspark was 5th. But De Bulldozer was another Group 1 winner for Paul Rhodes on what was turning out to be a pretty good day for him. Race 27 was the Breeders' Cup Classic, and this time it was John Morgan's turn to get in the winner's circle with Czar Approval, which, if you remember, was running well in those dirt races earlier in the season. Won this one quite nicely by 3 3/4 lengths for Mainframe for Stephen Rand back in second, and James Shea's Key Solution was in third. Darren Thompson got into the money with Punto Fijo in 4th, and Thunderspark's Underwing was 5th. So that was the Breeders' Cup then. Some pretty good racing it was as well. On the Tuesday there was a supporting card to the Breeders' Cup, and that started with race 18 at Pontefract, which was the Win Big with the Tote Jackpot Nursery, and that was a win for Stu Gray's Compton Mask, who was driven out and won quite comfortably by 3/4 of a length from Boom King for Satyam Sandra Segaran in second. Man Perfect for Darren Howells was third, and Chief Singer for Kevin Minahan was back in 4th. Race number 19 was the Mobile Silver Tankard Nursery at Pontefract. This was a 0-100 handicap, and this was a win for Darren Howells and his Bocelli Man. 14-1 shot just got up to beat Megahalia for Darren Thompson in second. Pitch 1 for Stu Gray was in third, and Ben Bonici's Sea State was in 4th. The final race of the supporting card on Tuesday was the Pontefract Gold Cup. That was a long distance race, and it was a comfortable win for Where to Start. 4 3/4 length winner Paul Rhodes, who was having a good day over at the Breeders' Cup, who was going to be having a good day at the Breeders' Cup the next day, but he rounded off Tuesday with a good win in the Pontefract Gold Cup. Where to Start, Master Welshman for Graham Clutterbuck was second, Playmate for Leon van Rensburg was third, and Ever Reliable Lions Hall was 4th for James Follis. So the supporting races on our Wednesday then, after the Breeders' Cup races had finished, were again at Pontefract to start, and it was the Bluff Cove Handicap. Race 28, Golden Gun was the winner there, Kevin Minahan. That all stayed on well to win quite nicely. The favourite from Partiano for Matty McLean in second, Mubtahid for Satyam Sendra Segaran was third, and Sayar for Ben Bonici was in 4th. Race number 29 was the Collect Tote Pool Handicap, and this time it was Urban Sea, the one for Kevin Minahan, another favourite that stayed on well, beating Terence DeBar's Mixed Captain and Serious Chill's Big Hurt. Filament Girl was 4th for Jim Murray, and Shingis Khan for Molliette Surfer was back in 5th. He was, of course, having a big day over the obstacles. Race number 30, the Toteball.com handicap, and that was a win for Dog End Download. Matty McLean, a comfortable winner there as well, by 2 lengths from Simply Eman for Stu Gray in second. That one was slightly hampered, and probably with a clearer one could have got a bit closer, but Dog End Down was a fairly safe winner. Jewish Fantasy for Satyam Sengha Segaran was third, and Jim Murray was in the money again with Grizzled Warrior in 4th. The bonus races this week were the championship finals at Lingfield. The first one, the Coral Bookmakers Championship Sprint Final. These are, of course, 0-100 handicaps where you've qualified throughout the season, and the interesting prospect in race number 31 of the Corals Bookmakers Championship Sprint Final, with Martin Cairns having 3 qualifiers. He had 3 runners in the race and managed to finish 2nd, 3rd and 4th with Play the Game, Tres Lagos and Just Another Day. Leon van Rensburg, though, didn't read the script, and his lonesome train pulled away from the station and shot past them and won by a length to give Leon a big win there. So 2nd, 3rd and 4th for Martin Cairns. Whipped up for James Shea was back in 5th. Not sure how many qualifiers there's been for that race, but there was only 8 actually bothered to turn up for the final. Race number 32 was the William Hill Mile Championship final, again at Lingfield, slightly bigger field this time, and it was Sweet Temptation that won this for Joshua Sutherland, a 66 to 1 shot, not fancied by many people in the ring, but got up to win quite comfortably from Little Gladiator. Colin Clark in second, and Best Morpeth for Darren Howells was third. Gengar for Darren Thompson was fourth. The final race of the week then was the Middle Distance Championship final, again at Lingfield, and this time it was a win for Stu Gray with his Simply Dreaming, winning by a length from Serious Chill's Man Cave in second, and Perfect Mister from the Darren Howells yard in third. Cliff for James Shea was fourth, and Space Heater for Peter Cahill was back in fifth. So that concluded a great week's racing then, and that was the flat. So we've got the final week of the season coming up then next week. I think there's plenty more finals and things, and there's a lot of big flat racing in Australia that I know Doug's looking forward to, so that's going to be interesting, and we'll have people doing things on different days and all sorts of stuff. No doubt there'll be some live streams, on the forum for what races are going to be on the live stream. And okay then, well, that'll do us for this week, and we'll see you next time.
The big white front horse, Za Approval, and Za Approval's just blowing them away, opening up late. Za Approval got the approval of the world, takes the Breeders' Cup World Championship, the Breeders' Cup Classic.